Good evening, I'm Ian Hannamansing. Tonight, COVID case numbers trend upward in Alberta.
The threat of this still dangerous virus is shifting.
And the consequences aren't as predictable this time around, while next door in British Columbia, a change in strategy. The Montreal Canadiens owner defends the decision to draft a controversial player.
I just wanted to apologize.
Leaving many fans outraged.
What about her second chance? Why do we care about his second chance?
Going up, prices on the rise compared to this time last year.
You have demand recovering a lot faster than supply.
Plus, why Canada's female Olympic athletes are off to a roaring start.
Young girls watching across our nation are saying, they could be Penny Olisiak, they can be a weightlifter.
This is The Net. Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health has a clear message. The danger from the COVID-19 virus is fading, and resources are being shifted elsewhere.
We need to be thinking not just about COVID specifically, and we cannot focus on it as the single most important risk. COVID-19 is not the only risk that we are facing.
But this comes as case numbers are rising in some places. Canada was making progress until about 10 days ago. Since then, average daily new infections have started to bounce back. Where's it happening? Well, looking at new cases per capita, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, and Quebec are all seeing more transmission. The change in Alberta is especially rapid. But instead of more restrictions, that province announced it's pulling back on requirements for testing and isolating certain cases and for contact tracing. Paige Parsons shows us a province moving on.
We need to be looking at how we're going to live with COVID-19.
Alberta is forging ahead, announcing sweeping changes that end many quarantine and contact tracing requirements. By mid-August, it will no longer be mandatory to isolate if you test positive for the virus.
We did not employ those public health measures to manage cases. We employed them to reduce the chances that our healthcare system would be overwhelmed.
Hinshaw said Alberta's vaccination rate meant that risk is now lower, even as Albertans enjoy life without COVID restrictions.
I'm feeling just fine, but I know some people are concerned, and I'll try to respect that, but I'm feeling fine.
We did bring masks if it gets busier, but I'm feeling pretty confident. We've been double vaccinated, and it's just good to be out and seeing other people in Edmonton and celebrating with good food.
Alberta's aggressive reopening plan means for weeks crowds have filled patios, many going maskless at events like the Calgary Stampede. But there are signs the reopening is giving COVID-19 a chance to re-emerge. Alberta's R value, representing how rapidly the virus is spreading, doubled in July, from 0.75 on July 1st before Alberta lifted its remaining restrictions to 1.48 by mid-month. That means on average, 100 people with the virus will spread it to 148 others. Alberta's vaccine progress shows signs of lagging, with just over 54% of the total population fully vaccinated, lower than the national average. Alberta's premier says he's not concerned.
We're confident that we can be open for summer and open for good.
Not everyone shares that confidence, especially as the province pares back its tools for tracking the pandemic.
If we don't have good contact tracing, we will simply see numbers go up, but we won't know where they're coming from. And it makes it really hard to have a focused response to address that.
And with a third of Albertans still unprotected, the concern is that the risk of climbing cases and even hospitalizations remains. Paige Parsons, CBC News, Edmonton.
As mentioned, BC is also seeing a sharp increase, and the response is different. As Lindsay Duncombe explains, the province is tightening rules, though not province-wide.
Starting at midnight, masks will be back in the central Okanagan. The owner of this restaurant isn't surprised by the new indoor mask mandate.
I think that what they did is probably the right thing and the right step right now, while we get more people vaccinated.
The new measures are in response to an outbreak largely among young people in Kelowna. Several restaurants have closed after workers got sick. The Interior Health Region reported 113 cases today. That's up from 95 yesterday.
I am confident that the measures that we're going to take, the raising the awareness in the community of the issues that are going on, will stop people from getting sick and will prevent ongoing transmission.
In addition to masks, travel to this most popular of summer destinations is being discouraged unless people are fully vaccinated. And vaccine timelines are moving up. People in the area can get their second dose 28 days after their first. For BC, this is a new regionally targeted strategy.
I also really like this kind of surgical approach where rather than having the whole province under more restrictions, that they're saying this is the local health authority that is affected.
There's a range of reactions to the rules.
It's one step closer towards getting to the end of this mess.
Come on, they're trying to control us a little bit too much. I don't want to be wearing a mask in and out everywhere.
Suggesting cooling BC's hotspots still won't be easy. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Vancouver.
Canadian travelers who are fully vaccinated won't be getting around quarantine restrictions in England and Scotland. However, those from Europe or the United States who have had their shots can get in without quarantining. There's been no explanation why Canada has been left out. Scotland's transport minister says successful vaccination programs led to the relaxed restrictions. The owner of the Montreal Canadiens is apologizing following backlash over the team's decision to draft Logan Mailloux. While playing overseas last year, he was convicted of sharing sexually explicit photos of a woman without her consent. As Sarah Levitt shows us, for many fans, today's apology doesn't go far enough.
As a female hockey fan, it felt honestly like a slap in the face.
Lauren Mortier's been a Montreal Canadiens fan since birth, but that's changed with the team's pick of Logan Mailloux.
Winning games is more important, making money is more important, and if you're a fan of hockey, this is how it is. Women are collateral damage to the sport.
Today, Habs owner Jeff Molson drafted an open letter to fans.
Our decision to draft Logan was a very offensive one. On behalf of the Montreal Canadiens, I just wanted to apologize.
The decision to pick Mailloux has made waves for the wrong reasons. Ahead of the draft, he took to Twitter asking not to be taken. It was revealed he'd been charged and fined for taking and sharing a sexually explicit photo of a woman without her consent while playing in Sweden last season. And yet,
the Montreal Canadiens are proud to select the Knights de London défenseur Logan Mailloux.
The team won't be renouncing their pick, though. Instead, Mailloux isn't invited to rookie or training camp, and the Habs say they'll help him in his goal to be a better person.
They're not equipped to rehabilitate anyone who's been convicted of a sex crime. So the fact that the audacity for them to think that they have that power or ability is just, no, it's not a real thing. Their plan is 3 kids in a trench coat pretending to be an adult.
The controversy could have financial repercussions too. Sponsors such as Desjardins Group and Saint-Hubert have said they're reevaluating their partnership with the team.
The idea in my head was this is a 17-year-old kid who made one really bad mistake, even though he's a good kid. And if we give him a second chance, we may be able to turn him into a really good kid.
What about her second chance? Why do we care about his second chance?
Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
Let's turn to the Tokyo Olympics, where Canada has picked up another medal.
Here come the Kiwis to the line. They are going to take the gold medal. The Canadians look like they got third.
A strong finish for Kaylee Filmer and Hilary Jansen, giving them bronze in rowing, and this is Canada's first rowing medal of the Games. Just 5 days in, Canada's female athletes have already turned in a stellar performance, whether gold, silver, or bronze. Canada's female athletes are shining. Some are even making history with this country's first ever Olympic medals in judo and softball. And led by 21-year-old Penny Alexiak, they are especially strong in the pool. Travis Stanrash takes a closer look at what accounts for their success.
Judo, softball,
silver medalist, Canada.
Swimming. Incredible female athleticism everywhere you look at Tokyo 2020, and it's resulting in bronze, silver, and oh yeah, gold.
Mode channel.
I'm just so glad we do well. Women are great in sport.
The first 9 of Canada's medals have been won by women, a trend carried over from Rio 2016 when they took the first dozen. Scheduling is part of it. Men's events typically start later, but scratch a bit deeper and there's more going on here.
Increasingly, with every Olympics, there are more events that women
get to compete in. And that has been the long, slow march.
Former Olympian high jumper Nicole Forrester says Canada, unlike many other countries, has invested heavily in training and development of female athletes. Though full parity with men has not been achieved, results are showing.
You can have an optimal training environment, optimal coaches, do optimal training camps and so forth, all together that, you know, build the athlete and their team to be able to perform when it counts.
Some of that support comes from the private sector. The Own the Podium program has been a huge boost, but challenges remain, including finding the next generation of Olympic talent. A 2016 study found 41% of Canadian girls between 3 and 17 don't participate in sport, but new female role models could soon put a dent in that figure.
Young girls watching across our nation are saying, you know, they could be Penny Olisiak, they can be a weightlifter, you know, they can participate in softball, they can, all the places that we're winning medals are all opportunities that we hope to see girls join those sports.
Day 5 and 11 more to go. If history repeats itself, the hardware from our female athletes will keep coming. Travis Danraj, CBC News, Toronto.
Heartbreak for Canadian gymnast Ellie Black today after she sprained her ankle during training and had to withdraw from competition on Thursday.
I've been through a lot of ups and downs. It's just it's just another one of those that we have to overcome, and you know, I'm glad it wasn't worse.
She injured the same ankle earlier this year and says that she hopes she'll recover in time to compete next week in the balance beam final. Top American gymnast Simone Biles also won't be competing Thursday. After all, she dropped out once again to focus on her mental health. The 24-year-old first withdrew from competition on Tuesday. It's not clear if she'll return next week. COVID cases in Tokyo have hit an all-time high for the second day in a row. Infections began rising slowly at the beginning of July, surpassing 1,000 by mid-month. Well, today the city is reporting more than 3,000 new cases for the first time ever. This spike is happening despite the fact that Tokyo is under a state of emergency. As Thomas Douglas shows us, outside the Olympic venues, health measures are often not being followed.
In Tokyo, it's come to this. Crews pleading with people in person and by way of mobile billboard to go home before 8 at night and stay there. This is life under a COVID state of emergency. If it looks a lot like normal life, it seems that may be the problem.
People do not, have many people infected around, right? Among your friends and families, so they do not actually feel that threat.
With Japan's athletes winning at home, the headlines are telling stories of success, capturing the country's attention while cases creep up in the capital. Coincidence or not?
Separation between those involved in the Olympics and the general population is very intense.
Indeed, athletes and staff go through daily testing, frequent temperature checks, and effectively live in a bubble, preventing us from speaking to people like Dr. Ken Osaka in person.
The effect of the state of emergency seems to be waning because the mood for Olympics are now being held. Especially the young people are reaching the limit of their self-restraint.
He blames COVID fatigue among young people going out, drinking, ignoring the state of emergency. Then there's the fear simply having the games sends a confusing message during a COVID surge. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga has said the Olympics won't be called off, but will he do anything more? He wouldn't answer. There are calls for tougher action, with Tokyo hospitals under increasing pressure. This worldwide spectacle ends in 11 days, but the pandemic may yet drag on. Japan has only fully vaccinated about 27% of its population. The government says it's now surpassing its goal of 1 million daily shots in arms, but they're still not reaching young people who are growing increasingly weary of restrictions at what may be the worst possible time. Thomas Douglas, CBC News, Tokyo.
As COVID's Delta variant takes more victims in the U.S., new measures are coming to control it. They include mandatory vaccination orders for federal workers, and New York City is making its healthcare workers get the shot. Chris Reyes shows us opinions are divided.
Do you think New York should have a vaccine mandate for healthcare workers?
Yes.
A quick survey on the streets of New York City gives you an idea of how split some people are on vaccine mandates.
I don't agree with that because, I think it's a personal choice.
You got all of these people around you that you're trying to save, and you putting yourself at risk and them also.
Soon, healthcare and government workers in New York won't have a choice. New orders from Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio will require them to get the shot or test weekly. The city's mandate takes effect August 2nd, the state's by September 6th. Both leaders said they're hoping workers will choose to get vaccinated. The option of testing is only on offer to appease some unions that are pushing back on full mandates. The New York State Nurses Association is supporting the new orders, but with some hesitation.
Healthcare workers are concerned that if they get vaccinated, that these protections that they've been fighting for all along, and in some places they've definitely seen improvements in availability, that those will be taken away.
I've been told there are many healthcare workers who are choosing not to get vaccinated. They just don't want to go on the record. In fact, I talked to one woman who works at this hospital, didn't want to go on camera, but very frankly, she told me her body, her choice. Well, that sentiment is part of a heated debate happening in the United States about vaccine mandates.
Well, a number of states in the U.S. have said, look, we have to protect the rights of the unvaccinated. And I think that's morally bankrupt. You can't do that in a pandemic.
So far, only the states of California, New York, and one federal agency have issued orders for government workers to get vaccinated or test weekly. President Joe Biden is expected to issue a similar mandate for federal employees on Thursday.
It's the toll that COVID takes, plus new strains that are nastier. I'm afraid that's what's going to tip us over to more mandates.
It's estimated 25% of the country's hospital workers remain unvaccinated. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
Confusion, anxiety, even anger emerging today as Afghan interpreters look to resettle in Canada and flee the war-torn country. Ottawa says their asylum applications are being fast-tracked, but as Evan Dyer explains, outrage is growing over how the government is handling the situation.
As U.S. troops withdraw, not even Afghanistan's presidential compound is out of the reach of the emboldened Taliban.
In the village here.
Under pressure from veterans, the Trudeau government has promised to open a pathway for the Afghan interpreters who served alongside Canadian forces to get out before the country falls. Already, the Taliban are hunting them. And today, the application package went out, but it came with a nasty surprise. You have 3 days to complete your application. Just 3 days to assemble a lengthy list of documents for each family member and print and fill out long, complicated forms. In an accompanying email, the interpreters are told that if their full applications aren't submitted within 72 hours, they'll be assumed to have no interest in escape.
There's been 10 years to figure this out, and the government has done nothing up until now. And now they impose a 72-hour deadline arbitrarily. There's egos at play, and it's going to cost lives.
One interpreter, who we're only calling Abdul, told CBC he doubts some of his colleagues have even heard about the deadline.
Some of them, they live, in a remote area, in suburb area. Some they live in the capital, and some maybe they are not aware about this program.
Plus, there's the difficulty of dealing with Afghanistan's fractured infrastructure.
There may or may not have internet access, and yet for the government of Canada to give them 72 hours to put together a fairly comprehensive document package digitally and get it sent in where they may not have an internet connection that's safe for them to get to, I think that's ludicrous, and it demonstrates bad faith on the part of our government.
But by end of day, things had turned around. An official at Citizenship and Immigration says now there is no deadline. Applications received outside of that 3-day window will still be processed. And officials say they'll go back to the interpreters in Afghanistan to tell them that deadline was a mistake. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Gatineau, Quebec.
Next on The National, a disgraced fertility doctor will pay millions of dollars after families accuse him of deceiving them. But questions remain about who fathered dozens of children. Plus, inflation remains high for another month, and there's a knock-on effect.
If you increase the price of the food, if you increase the price of labor, you've got nothing left.
Businesses are making tough decisions, and that could lead to even higher prices. And we're in Japan for Tokyo 2020, but also for the food.
I've been dying to try this salami.
Our CBC crews discover Japanese 7-Eleven. If you know, you know. We're back in 2. Despite surges in housing and gas prices, inflation actually slowed last month from its highest level in a decade in May. But as Jacqueline Hansen explains, prices are still climbing, creating new problems for some businesses.
Demand for this company's compressors is up, but so is the cost of making them.
It does feel a little bit like one more challenge on the back of a whole lot of COVID-related challenges.
The price of steel has jumped, plus supply chain delays make getting materials more difficult.
Certainly, when you get this kind of a disruption, there will be an impact on pricing.
Prices for many goods in Canada are rising. Inflation was over 3% in June, driven by housing, transportation, and gasoline. Still, it's lower than some economists were predicting.
Inflation didn't pick up as rapidly as I had expected.
Continued supply chain disruptions and challenges finding enough workers could drive prices higher, at least in the short term.
You have demand recovering a lot faster than supply, so you see this increase in inflation, but as supply catches up, those inflationary pressures themselves should start fading.
The Bank of Canada expects inflation to return to its target 2% next year, but it also matters what Canadians think.
Everything goes up. Pension is stayed the same way, and it's very concerning.
Like some people, they are very optimistic. They are saying by September everything will be good, but it's not.
If consumers expect to pay more for goods, they'll want their wages to go up. And if businesses expect to pay more for wages, they'll increase the price of goods. And those changes could stick.
This could lead to higher inflation as a whole and lead to something called like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
At this restaurant, the pressure is on to make up for hundreds of days of lost revenue and increased prices from suppliers.
So the pressure builds of what do? Do you take the price increase from your suppliers and now pass that on to your customers?
For now, this business is eating the costs until it's clear whether or not higher inflation will be part of Canada's new normal. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
Next on The National, a heartbreaking loss. A fraction away from a medal, the diving pair that persevered despite an injury. Plus,
it's definitely been a huge adjustment this year for me.
Olympic star Andre DeGrasse on the hurdles to prepare for the Games and to stay at the top. Next. Intense heat is already making its mark in Tokyo. A Russian tennis player was forced to take a medical timeout as temperatures soared well above 30 degrees today. The match was ultimately completed, but a Spanish player wasn't as lucky. She was forced to retire after suffering heat stroke and left the court in a wheelchair. The International Tennis Federation has now moved matches to begin at 3 in the afternoon in order to avoid some of the most intense heat. Earlier, we looked at the stunning success of Canadian women at the Tokyo Olympics. Synchronized divers Megan Benfito and Kaylee McKay didn't make the podium yesterday, but they sure did show what champions are made of. For these two, the road to Tokyo was lined with setbacks. McKay, who 3 weeks ago badly twisted her ankle, tearing ligaments in her foot, was in constant pain.
She's got to climb all those stairs with that ankle.
While Benfito lost her home and everything in it earlier this year.
And then while my condo kind of went up in flames.
But they soldiered on, determined to make the podium. After their third dive, they were sitting in the silver medal position, but then disaster.
Oh, I think that ankle was holding her back there.
Badly missing an especially difficult dive knocked them from second place to 5th with just one dive to go.
Oh, beautiful finish!
They nailed it, but it wasn't enough. Benfito and McKay finished 4th, just half a point out from bronze. Still, after all the pain and adversity, they held their heads high.
It's a result that we could be proud of with everything that we've been through in the last month, year.
We're happy that we did it, I think. I don't think we have any regrets.
Afterwards, her ankle throbbing, McKay hopped onto Benfito's back, a glimpse of the bond between the two. Soon, more of Canada's men will get their chance at Olympic glory. Star sprinter Andre de Grasse made the podium 3 times, 5 years ago in Rio, 2 bronze and a silver. And as he told Adrian earlier this summer, he can feel the pressure to bring home the gold this time.
Few Canadian athletes heading to Tokyo are as well known. Few have so many global expectations piling on. A college kid who showed promise on the track turned star sprinter. Then in Rio de Janeiro, Andre de Grasse came home with 3 medals from 3 sprint events, including the marquee 100 meters. No Canadian has ever done that before. Time changes everything. From a few years of punishing injuries that brought him down, now he seems happier than ever. He's 26. He's a dad in a growing family. And training sometimes involves everyone now. His mom, Beverly, has been staying with his family, helping out before he heads to Tokyo. And as much as he'll miss them, he knows he's going to work. He wants the one medal he's yet to wear, Olympic gold. We caught up with Andre de Grasse at his home in Florida.
All right, so I just read your book. It didn't take me very long, I confess. It's great, you know, it's great talking about running and why you love it. And I started to count how many times in this book you talk about what it is like to hear the roar of the crowd, right? So at one point you say, I look around the stadium, I feel all the people watching and cheering me on. I see Canadian flags waving. It's not happening, right? Like, this is not going to happen this time. What do you get from the energy of a crowd when you race?
Yeah, it just brings out the best of me, and it's definitely been a huge adjustment this year for me. Without having, you know, Canadian fans or just even fans in general. So that's been the toughest part for me to try to conquer, I guess, in that sense. But definitely, yeah, for my book, that's definitely one of the things that I would look forward to all the time. I remember that experience from, you know, whether it was in Rio or even at a World Championship or even competing at home for the Pan American Games. All those memories, it just brought out the best of me. So definitely, yeah, that's something I'm really gonna miss this time around.
So different circumstances in Tokyo. Are we going to see a different Andre de Grasse, though? I mean, how different are you?
I feel like I'll be more prepared this time. I feel like I'm better, I'm stronger. I've gotten a lot better with knowing how to take care of my body, whether that's, you know, nutrition, hydration, making sure that I'm on top of things, getting more sleep. All those things come into play as I've gotten older. So Definitely my mental state has gotten better. I know how to handle those things when it comes to injuries, and I think that's going to really help me to my advantage to when I get to the line in Tokyo, because there's always these things that pop up randomly, and you have to know how to take care of it.
A few weeks ago, when we all heard Naomi Osaka talk about she wasn't going to do media at the French Open because she wanted to protect her mental health, it was a bit of a rough go for her. What went through you when you heard that?
Yeah, I just know the feeling. I know what, as athletes, I think a lot of people don't understand that what we go through. Our main focus is our career and our job, to perform, but there's other things that we go through along the way that can take away from that, our performance. And other people might not understand, from the outside looking in.
What sort of things get in the way for you?
People see the fame and people see the fortune and they see all those things that, oh wow, like if I was in their position, that would be so much easier, but they don't see all the other things that, we have to deal with, whether it's, going through media, what people are saying about us, how we feel about ourselves as an individual. Like the hardest part for me was trying to tell myself that I would be okay from injury, because you'd always hear the negativity, like, oh, he's done, he's not, he's never going to be the same, he's not going to come back to be at his, be at his best. This is it for Andre DeGrasse. Just negative things, and that really takes a toll on the athlete, even though we don't, tell people. You don't hear people talking about that a lot, right? So for me, I just have to tell myself, and that I guess everything is going to be okay.
Can you explain something to me as a viewer? I mean, I'm sure people have told you this, but it's very stressful to watch you race helplessly from the stands, because in the beginning, it really looks like you see the backs of a lot of people. And so as a spectator, your heart stops for a moment and think, what's he doing? And then there is this surge. Can you break it down for me in those 9-ish seconds? What's happening?
That's something that I have a weakness in, and yeah, a lot of people know it. It's good that the fans see it as well. Even though some people love it, they always tell me like, oh man, I love when you just come from behind and win the race. But my intention is to hopefully be in the race from the start, and and hopefully just pass people along the way. So yeah, I mean, every day I feel like I'm getting better at it, but it just kind of just takes time, and I just have to continue to be patient.
And when you give people a lift and something to be excited about this summer, not that long from now, and they're sitting at home, not in a stadium, but they're sitting at home watching you, what is it that you want them to have in their minds when they watch you lining up in the starting blocks?
Yeah, I just want them, everyone to be cheering for me. I think that I can, bring back gold for Canada. It's been a long, long time since, of course, Donovan in '96, so it's been about 25 years. So I'm just trying to be that first Canadian since then, to just try to, bring home some hardware and create history again. I'm hoping to, get a lot of messages on social media and those type of things, because obviously there will be no fans. Those are the greatest things for me, and that's going to give me a big boost towards Tokyo.
No, fantastic. Have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. We'll see you in Tokyo.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
He is an incredible athlete and obviously a very nice person as well. Andrew Chang is looking ahead at the competitions that will take place while it is nighttime here in Canada. And here's what's happening in Tokyo over the next few hours.
So a few things to flag. One, what we won't see happen overnight. The huge story of these games, Simone Biles pulling out of the individual all-around final in women's gymnastics. The question is, what will the competition look like without her? We know that when Biles pulled out of the team final, the rest of the U.S. team stepped in to still win a silver. But this was an event the Americans were expected to just absolutely obliterate. So who will become the new individual all-around champion? And women's rugby sevens. What an exciting sport, right? Team Canada in pursuit of a podium finish. Overnight, they're playing Fiji, which we know on the men's side managed to defend their Olympic gold medal. The women's team from Fiji hasn't done as well historically as the men, and I should say, Canada's women won bronze in this sport in Rio 2016. So we will be tracking their progress through prelims. And finally, when I wake up, I'll be checking the pool. once again. Youngest member of Canada's swim team, 14-year-old Summer McIntosh, set to race her heat in the 800-meter freestyle. And Kylie Moss already won a silver in the 100-meter backstroke in Tokyo. Takes a shot at the 200-meter backstroke. These are just the opening heats, mind you, but every medal run starts there, right? We'll see how it all pans out tomorrow.
And throughout the Games, Andrew's co-hosting Tokyo Today alongside two-time Olympian and world champion hurdler Perdita Felicien. You can watch starting at noon Eastern on CBC Television and CBC Gem. Next on The National, some relief for families who say they were deceived by a fertility doctor.
I remember just this wave of shock.
The multi-million-dollar settlement and the doctor who may have fathered dozens of children. Stay with us. A multi-million-dollar settlement has been reached in the case of a former Ottawa fertility doctor who some say used the wrong sperm or even his own to artificially inseminate numerous patients. Amanda Pfeffer has the reaction from one of those families.
Renowned fertility doctor Norman Barwin was so trusted by patients, some called him a baby god.
We are fully aware of the torment and the frustration.
Dan and Davina Dixon sought Barwin's help to conceive their daughter, Rebecca. She was born in 1990, but in recent years found out Dan is not her biological father. Barwin is.
I remember just this wave of shock.
Today, Rebecca and her parents are the lead plaintiffs in the newly certified class action lawsuit. 5 years in the making, it has a proposed settlement of more than $13 million.
I think we're really pleased and excited that we're moving ahead now.
The proposed settlement means parents who have discovered their child is not biologically related to the man in the couple can qualify for $50,000 each. Those children can qualify for $40,000. 17 children involved in the suit have DNA tests suggesting Barwin is their biological father. The parents of another 83 children claim Barwin used the wrong sperm, and many don't know who the biological father is. So part of the money has been put aside to create a DNA database where claimants and sperm donors can submit their DNA to find family connections.
It is an opportunity for the former patients to, in a private and controlled method, to determine whether there are matches between the various patients.
For Rebecca Dixon, closure may not come for some time.
I am prepared that every couple years or even every few months there'll be new people popping up through DNA testing sites who've never heard of the lawsuit.
The agreement makes clear that this is not an admission of wrongdoing. In fact, it says that Norman Barwin continues to deny all of the plaintiff's claims in the class action. It says he agreed to settle in order to, quote, avoid the time, risk, and expense of continuing with litigation. Amanda Pfeffer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Next on The National, a male-dominated industry is now looking to hire more women.
Do some push-ups and get down here.
3 pioneering women give us an inside look at what it takes to move massive cargo. Next.
I'm Alameen Abdul Mahmoud. Tomorrow on CBC's daily news podcast Front Burner, gymnast Simone Biles' unexpected decision to drop out of the Olympics and focus on her mental health. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
In Newfoundland and Labrador, the federal government has given the troubled Muskrat Falls hydroelectric project a $5 billion recharge.
We've landed agreements with the government of Newfoundland and Labrador that will ensure financial sustainability of the project while protecting people from major electricity increases.
At an expected cost of $13 billion, the project is well over budget. It's also behind schedule. The federal investment means hydro customers will only pay 10% more. Without it, bills were projected to jump by up to 75%. Every year, about 28 million metric tons of cargo flows through the port of St. John, New Brunswick, on ships loaded with containers of everything from cars to coffee. Every container is lashed or locked down with big metal bars and turnbuckles. Taking those off has historically been a man's job. But in St. John, that's changing, with 3 women leading the way.
They're doing training on the lashing and unlashing of container boxes on the ship. Lashing. That's a very strenuous job. It takes a lot of endurance and strength.
Lashing is the most labor intensive, and it is physically demanding on a person. It's also dangerous.
With the training program that we have today, it gave these girls here a chance to come down and experience it, and they passed the course. When the ship rolls in, we've got to unsecure it to get ready for the crane to lift off, to put it in the yard, to be shipped out all over Canada or the States or whatever.
To me, it seems like more of a mental workout than it is about your body, even though obviously it's necessary that you have enough strength, but sometimes you can just get a little overwhelmed by the length of the bar and, you know, maybe some people standing around looking at you do it. It does get intimidating because it is typically a male-dominated workplace, but I mean, just deal with the men like you normally do in a normal day, and everybody's actually pretty nice and pretty helpful around here. Because I used to be a computer analyst many years ago, and then after I had a child, I decided that I wanted to work outdoors. Being outdoors, enjoying the fresh air and sunshine, even if you do have some hard work, I mean, there's nothing better for me, nothing.
Yeah, I've come from a family of longshoremen's, and it's definitely not for your average girl, I should say. But tough skin does the work, and it's definitely worth it if you got the backbone to handle it.
How dangerous is this?
Very. You could get squished just as easy as stepping in the wrong place, and if you don't watch where you're going, you probably will die. Definitely empowering. I definitely don't want any other job.
I guess it's a good step forward for women in the trades, but there's also a lot of work to be done with, women in trades and equity of pay and how we're treated also, and that's not something that we talk about a lot.
We interviewed and took applications for about 140 people, and out of the 140, 7 women. Out of the 7 women, we put them through the Lasher test, and unfortunately only three passed. We're trying to diversify the workforce, get some women in it. It is challenging. It's mostly machinery now. The heavy work is gone, with the exception of the lashing. The lashing's the most labor intensive, and it is physically demanding on a person. Right now we have 3-4 generation longshoremen working on the waterfront here. Something that once you get in your blood, it doesn't leave.
You get any tips from your grandfather coming in?
Swear a lot and don't take anything personal, I guess.
What would you say to other women who were thinking about getting into something like this?
Do some push-ups and get down here. And you know, if you can lift that bar, then all the power to you, right?
I'd love to see more women on the port for sure.
Our crew covering Tokyo 2020 puts in long hours, but the job also comes with perks.
A dinner?
Yep.
A drink?
Yep.
This is what it's like to be at the Olympics.
We'll take a look at these tasty treats from a very unsuspecting location in our moment.
These are my absolute favorite things. Why? They taste
Why?
great.
Why?
They're small, concise.
In Tokyo, 7-Eleven takes snacks and inexpensive takeout to the next level, at least compared to North America. Shopping there has become a sort of sport of its own for CBC crew members covering the Olympics. And so tonight, in our moment, CBC sports reporter Devin Haru and Canadian snowboarder Craig McMorris head to the holy grail of Tokyo snack foods.
You've covered everything at this Games and you don't have that much time. I know you've been eating at the convenience store in the hotel and you've gone viral for it.
I want to take people on the journey. I document everything. I started documenting what I was eating in the convenience store. Boom, I'm big in Japan.
Let's go to the Conveni right now and compare, contrast what we come out with.
Let's go.
What'd you get?
I've been told that the sweet red bean jelly is a bit of an adventure.
So you're trying something on camera for the first time.
It's delightful.
Is it wonderful?
It's delightful.
Oh. These are my absolute favorite things. Onigiri,
Yeah.
you rip this down the middle.
Yeah.
Boom. I don't like the plastic. It's all about convenience. 2, 3-step process right here. There you go.
Are you? Oh, this is a big moment.
Yeah.
Out of the hot box.
It's like a chicken karaage kind of, hey?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who needs a restaurant? A dinner?
Yep.
A drink?
Yep.
This is what it's like to be at the Olympics. It's as good as it gets.
So first of all, those guys need to have their own show. Could be about snack food, could be about anything, but what great chemistry. If you haven't been to Japan and you haven't been to 7-Eleven, it is just very different from it is here, the way it is here in North America. Devin calls 7-Eleven Sev, and he says it's nothing like what he remembers back in Saskatoon. And Japan has the most 7-Elevens of any country in the world, in case you didn't know that. That is the National for July 28th. Good night.